Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into entitled parents, where the parents are incredibly entitled, where we read stories about mistreated kids. Parents who let kids do anything and everything in between. Aside from normal, sane parents, of course. It wouldn't be interesting if we had that. Now, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and let's get started, shall we? I, 17 female, am being blamed for my mom's failed relationship. I love my dad, he's the greatest person in the world and I've only known him, really gotten to know him for a year. The problem is that he's not my real dad, he's my mother's now ex-fiancé, and she blames me for their relationship failing. We moved to his house last year in July, but the problem started the following October, when I called him dad for the first time, as a child is wont to do. You know how that goes. Dad, myself, and every other reasonable person I've told recognizes what this is really about. It's not about protecting me at all because there was never a threat. It's always been about jealousy. Mom has been extremely jealous ever since we started getting close from the start of October, but she was subtly controlling from the very beginning. It's been a year and she doesn't realize that way she was acting is exactly what pushed him away. But there was this occasion where I asked him to buy me a pen because mine had run out of ink, and she went nuts over that. Then there was the time I helped him with yard work without telling her, and again she's infuriated. Well, every time we spend time together, like him taking me to go buy seeds and garden tools in Walmart, or us going out for, ice cream like a father and child do, it's a problem. And the crazy part is, she wanted him to take care of me and be a father figure. But as soon as he starts acting in that role, it becomes a problem. Yes, I understand she feels excluded, but the only reason she started to be excluded is because she showed that ugly part of her character. This didn't happen overnight, it was gradual, events occurring over months. When we brought my dog home in the March of 2025, she started to get jealous of the attention he gave to the fucking dog. A lot of bad shit happened this summer, but in short, I don't live with him or her any longer, and my absence has taken a toll on both Dad and my dog. And now they both hate her for it. After the dust settled, she tried to convince me that he really was just a bad guy and trying to exploit me. I can recognize grooming. I know what this is because I've been groomed and I can't say that word, but let's just say it starts with an S and ends with an X. Harassed before. When it happens, my brothers are the first to know, and they've been the ones to resolve the problems and protect me. My dad has never been anything but kind and understanding. He's never made me uncomfortable, and he's always knocked before entering my room. And most of the time, he didn't even want to be. When she couldn't convince me that he was being predatory, she switched up and said it was my fault because I was so disrespectful, or whatever she pulled out of her behind. I'm gonna get away from her as fast as I possibly can. This is so sad. Can you move in with a brother or a grandparent? Because you are being treated badly. You are the scapegoat to her relationship flameout, and that is not fair to you at all. Let's see, did OP answer that? She did. I'm living with my aunt and she gets along great with my mom, so that should give me an idea of what she's like. I want to live with my brother, but when he took me out horse riding for my 17th birthday, Mom almost reported him for kidnapping me, as long as she has custody over me, so I can't do much. Oh dear, she's gonna be the mom 15 years from now who whines to her friends about her ungrateful child that never visits her, and she was so amazing. Well, you seem smart and seem like you have common sense. You will get through this, and you'll leave this behind, and you will build a better life. Good luck. Before I say the title of this next story, I need to be completely transparent that the person talking about this is the race that they're saying that when they're entitled, they're the worst. It's nothing to do with racism, it's just the child pointing out the race of their parents, which they are themselves, and that when they are entitled, They're the worst. Please don't cancel me. Entitled African parents are the worst. It's the title of the story. I'm just reading it. Don't cancel me. So I'm originally from Zambia, but I migrated to UK legally at the age of 5 years old. I am one of 4 children, and growing up I started to realize just how entitled and selfish parents can be. Now 30 male, and my older brother, no longer with us, rest in peace, were the ones who were used and exploited the most. I will give you examples of all the times I think my parents have behaved badly. Growing up as a family of 6, money was always tight, but in fairness to my parents, they worked hard and never let us go to bed hungry, and always provided us with what we needed. But there was one time my father used me to save himself from embarrassment. We frequently used to buy takeaway because a lot of times parents did not have time to cook as they worked full time. My father purposely took me along with him to the chip shop, but when we got there, he ordered me to go inside the busy shop and buy 5 portions of chips using coppers and silver coins. I was angry and ashamed, but I could not even argue with him because of how scared I was of him. At one point, my father was in some debt with a loan company, and he was trying to pay back what he owed, but that resulted in us being short of money, so luxuries were non-existent and we had no spare money. One of my friends had been over to socialize at our house, but when he left, he forgot his money, €5 to be exact. My father noticed this money and woke me up in the early hours of the morning to ask whose money it was. My parents are extremely religious and honest, so we always do the right thing. At first, I did not know whose money it was, but I eventually realized it was my friend's money, to who I returned it to when I saw him next. If I said it was mine, you know exactly what would have happened. I think the OP is inferring the dad would have confiscated the money if it was theirs. I cannot be sure, and I'm just going to say this in alleged tone because I don't want anyone suing my ass. But that's what I think the OP is inferring. Number 3. When it came to birthdays, I would usually get some pocket money from both my parents and from a friend or two as a present. After receiving this money, my dad would take it off me and look after it for me. I knew it! The dad takes it, and quote-unquote, until I needed it. This would go on until I turned about 16, and this used to anger me, and once again I could not really do anything about it. Okay, it looks like that my thought process of the father taking money from their children when they could is definitely a theme going on here. I had the right sense about that. My parents would visit their homeland once a year to visit family, etc. Plane tickets from the UK to African countries are not cheap at all due to exchanges. When I turned 18, I got into full-time work, so I was earning a decent amount. It was time for my father to visit again, but this time he was short on money, and he asked to borrow money off of me in order to buy a plane ticket, but it was more of a command than a question. And once again, I agreed if I remember correctly, the amount was £400, which he did give back to me to be fair. Another time he visited, he said he would return it. On his return, I asked him if I could have it back, and he aggressively replied saying he'd given the watch away to someone like he gave away a fitted suit my mother had bought for him to someone who he thought needed it more than he did. Giving away a gift someone bought for you is just sad. Moving on, I could not even argue with him about the watch because of how scared I was of him at that age. Moving on a lot of years, I started to confront my parents on some of these incidents. Most are not listed, as the list goes on and on and on and on, my friend, where they had used me to their advantage. I confronted my dad about the watch situation, and he slipped up and admitted it to me that he still had the watch I left him. This made me even more angry because he lied to me just because he could and because he wanted to keep the watch for himself. Number 5. This time my mother is the culprit. Like I said, she is extremely religious. She believes everything that the Bible preaches. So religious psychosis. The Bible says that a follower of Jesus Christ should give away 10% of their income to a charity or people who need it. And this is exactly what she has done even when we needed every bit of money ourselves as a family. She would put £20 notes in the church donations envelope every weekend, yet we were short on money as a family. She would send money back to Africa to her extended family and friends, even though she knew we needed that money ourselves. The worst part is she would buy secondhand electronics like laptops and tablets and mail them to people in Africa just because they asked for them. This led to people out there thinking we were rich or wealthy, and I even had 2 random people message me on Facebook Messenger asking me to send them presents. Just writing these stories gets me angry. Now to read a comment. Mate, just reading these stories makes me angry. I can't even imagine how angry you must be. Money was also tight for us growing up. We didn't have any heating and my window was threatening to fall out of the frame for years growing up. To the point I used to shiver myself to sleep in the winter, but my parents did everything they could for me and my brother. It's just disgusting yours would treat you and your siblings like that. I am very sorry Opie is going through this, dear Lord. On to our last story of the day. Possible soccer mom leaves notes on all senior players' cars. My daughter is on the high school soccer team in her last year before she graduates next year. She is one of 3 captains and the only senior year captain with a junior year and sophomore year captains. When my daughter was named senior year captain, there was one girl on the team who was also up for consideration but did not get picked. The girl's mom apparently was not pleased that her daughter didn't get picked, so she told all the senior year girls to have a great year of soccer. Without warning, all the senior girls started getting notes put on their windshields of the cars, saying to watch themselves, especially when scouts came to watch team play. All the girls had given the notes to the coach who, upon investigating the handwritten, found a matching handwriting in the handwriting of the mom, who was not happy her daughter wasn't picked to be the senior class captain of the team. She has the handwriting of all the moms who signed the permission slip to let their daughters play soccer. The police have been notified and even talked to the mom, who denied it was her. She gave a sample of her handwriting, and the police said to the school and coach to keep their eyes peeled during practices and games. I have a really bad feeling that the entitled soccer mom somehow changed her writing style to hide that it was her because of the notes are still happening, and the security cameras in the parking lot are having trouble finding distinguishable ways of identifying a hooded person who is leaving the notes on the windshields of cars. The cameras aren't catching a getaway car either. Myself and the other moms are starting to feel worried for our daughters. So far, the promises on the notes haven't been acted on, but we feel they will happen when we least expect them to happen. Important note, the notes are being left on the windshield during the school hours. I have nothing to say to that. That mom is just a straight psychopath. Dear freaking Lord. Oh my god. That is the end of today's video. If you all enjoyed, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and check out my Reddit story playlist. I also have a horror story playlist if that's more your speed, where I talk very, very nice. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Bye bye.